This is a time lapse of UKIE Student Game Jam 2024. Kicked off the day at 9:30 a.m., brainstorming game ideas to match our theme. Was looking for that spark, you know? Checked out past game jams for a bit of inspiration. Then got down to business, setting up the essentials. GitHub desktop, Trello, the works. Had to get our ducks in a row for the marathon ahead. By 11:30, was deep into crafting the 3D model of our train, dialing down the polygon count to make it game ready. But man, hit a snag at 11:45. Computer started freaking out on space. Thankfully, the UKIE IT guy swooped in and saved the day. Noon rolled around and we were back at it. Logged in, started piecing our vision together for one of the support mentors. Unreal and GitHub were being a pain though. Spent a chunk of time just trying to get them to play nice together. Managed to start messing with Unreal, importing bits and pieces, tweaking camera angles and player movement. 12:50 hit, and I was on the background scroller, making it from a 2D image. Planned to script it to move around later. Then, at 13:10, tried doing the same for a foreground piece we ended up not using. By 13:30, was brainstorming on Milano, trying to flesh out our vision more, make it tangible. At 13:50, still wrestling with GitHub and Unreal. Can't really remember if we got it sort of working then. Lunch break came at 13:58. Deliveroo dropped off food, and Sean had it covered with a coupon. Seriously, chopsticks never tasted so good. Gave us the fuel we needed for the rest of the day. After lunch, felt refreshed but ended up diving back into the GitHub abyss. Meanwhile, I was on Sketchfab, hunting for assets, while the others tried fixing the integration mess. At 15:05, tried setting up the repo myself since we were hitting walls with Adrian's account. Man, third try in GitHub still wasn't having it with Unreal. By 15:47, 6 hours in, we made the call to switch to Unity. Harsh to lose that much time, but sticking with Unreal just felt like heading for a dead end, especially since the Uni course said we needed Unreal, but never really showed us how to make it work with GitHub. 16:10, and I'm back at the background scroller, not even sure where things were heading at that point. Fast forward to 17:10, totally forgot to keep the recording going. From 17:20 to 18:50, had to dive back into optimizing that train model. Wanted to make the train's foreground less opaque or disappear as the player stepped on it, but time just ran out on us. By 1949, I called it a day and headed home to work from there. Stretched from 23:04 to 02:50, just trying to get a working loop going before crashing. Pulled an animation controller and a script to handle the waiting, moving, scene transitions, and train door animations. Was a slog, really tired, and kept getting sidetracked. Next day, 10:50 a.m., and it's go time again. By 11:20, was working on the 3D environment, tweaking it for the game because it had way too many faces. At 11:51, crafted a foreground for the transitions, trying to make it less noticeable. By 12:10, attempted to import a player movement script from another project to save time, but it backfired and ended up being a time sink. 12:28, ended up grabbing a script from a tutorial instead. Movement worked, but the player wasn't acting right when parented to the moving train. Spent time trying to troubleshoot that. 13:45, 14:30, lunch with the team. Pizza and snacks from the uni this time. 14:50, added the environment to Unity, started on the main menu. Was juggling managing and helping out the team whenever I could. By 15:50, Adrian redid the movement code, but it only worked in reverse. Ended up rotating the whole scene to fix it. 16:10, crunch time. Final hour to wrap up and upload the game to itch.io. At 16:40, whipped up a quick cover art for the game. 16:55, project submitted. Wasn't exactly what we'd envisioned, which is a bummer, but there's always room for updates later. This game jam was a roller coaster. Challenging, yes, but it threw us out of our comfort zones, which I kind of loved. It was my second most stressful jam out of about 8 I've done. Not working from home, the constant noise and distractions in the room. Plus, we wasted too much time on Unreal and fixing stuff we didn't even use. Losing 2 team members didn't help either. But looking back, I really liked the jam. It pushed me, made me think on my feet, and that's what I appreciated the most.